and welcome to week 18 of the JorjLim Show. The JorjLim Show is, of course, the place where we ask questions and you answer them. We need a catchphrase, really. Send those in the comments below. Now, of course, we first of all have the comments here, which have been very high-techly written down on a piece of paper. One day I will probably print them out, but for now, they're written on this very low-budget lined paper. One from Miss Princess Sarah, who says, if you can't beat them, join them. This is, of course, what you would do in a zombie invasion, and she would probably end up dead. Well, she would end up dead. If you can't beat them, then join them. So joining them would mean you'd become a zombie, which means you'd be dead. XFTL 8MyHeartX says she would find a shelter with no windows. No windows at all, and she would get weapons, like a baseball bat, and use that to beat the zombies up. Now, this is a zombie invasion, so you'd probably end up dead as well. Simply because you'd have to leave the shelter to beat the zombies up. So there would be no real point in finding the shelter in the first place. Psychotic Snake says he would get up to a high building with food and water and a minigun and a shotgun. God knows where you'd get those. And he would block off any way up to the roof. And then he would live there for a long period of time while slowly killing off all the zombies. When the food and the ammo or the water run out, he would kill himself. So yeah, you would end up dead as well. Robin Burns said he would team up with 3 other people and go for it Left 4 Dead style. Now that would probably work, actually. Or you'd end up dead with an extra 3 on your conscience as well. One from Nathan441 who says, something like in Dead Rising, the video game. Now, this would involve going to a mall, which would make you dead in the first place. Basically, all these comments are going to make you end up dead. You go to the mall and you get all the stuff and use them. Dead. Hall Squire said she would start a zombie revolution and she would train the zombies to go kill the chavs. Now, 90% of these zombies will have been the chavs, so kill the rest of the chavs probably wouldn't take long, so once they've done with the chavs, they'd come after you, so you would end up dead as well. One from Kachala, who says she'd become a zombie, then become a zombie king, and then fund research for brain alternatives for when the kingdom runs out of brains. Fair enough. And also get fun parks for the zombie kids to play in with their zombie children and their zombie pets. Not sure why zombie kids have zombie children. And then she would send cybernetic android task force to seek out and protect and take all the human babies to Hawaii and Australia. That way people like Psychotic Snake and XFTL 8MyHeartX wouldn't have to die, but they'd take care of the baby on the baby islands, which is fair enough. Thinking of the world, right there. The Uninspired Poet says she would run into her friend Lee's shed, which contains rifles, nunchucks, katanas, tools, and other homemade weapons, like flamethrowers. I don't think I should be really reading this out on the internet, simply because he might get arrested. And it also contains Pokemon toys, which I think is why you're going to live there, because simply you just catch all the zombies, surely. One from Deadable, who says he would do what the Edwards before him did, and be a different type of undead, and sparkle on them. Yeah, I think that's a dig at Twilight. And he would also find a Velociraptor to ride to victory, which I guess is what anyone with a sense would do, and he would probably live. One person that would actually live, one from Interview with the Cat, who says she would give them cuddles. Now, depending on the zombie empire, I think you would probably end up dead as well. Holy Fish Eye says that she would stay at home, and then when she runs out of goods and supplies, she would barbed wire and put ramps and stuff on a car so she could get to, get supplies. You'd probably end up dead the moment you left your house. You guys didn't remember that this is in fact a zombie invasion. That is all the comments for this week's show, and now we are of course going to find out who wins the prize to this week's comments. And I actually haven't decided yet. So, let's see. I think simply because you're going to kill chavs, and you know how much I hate chavs. If you don't, please check out my chav video. Simply because you're going to kill chavs, I think Hall Squire wins this round, and she wins this. It's a McDonald's penguin from the Madagascar toy collection that they've currently got, not including the little piece of ammo that is meant to be with it. that will probably be a prize for another week. Now it's time for the viral video of the week. Now this one's also from Hall Squire. She actually sent me this, and she said, I know that I'm trying to do sort of a broadcast show. So she looked at another broadcast show, and she said that this should be the viral video of the week. It is in fact Craig Ferguson, Late Show with Craig Ferguson and Eddie Izzard, and this is There's No More Show in Your Mind.
Quietly home, please. Quietly home, please. Hey, everybody, it's getting toward the end of the show, and we thought we'd like to say goodnight with our own special song. Take it, Eddie.
Singing the stuff about the end of the show. The end of the show. There's no more show.
Attractive people. Attractive people.
There's no more show.
It's all good. But we're leaving you with attractive people in your mind. In your mind.
There's no more show.
In your mind.
No more show.
Oh, sorry, I didn't notice you there. That is the viral video of the week. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope I don't get sued by CBS. And now it's time for Ask George Anything. This is the type of the show where you can ask me any question. And this week we've got one question here from XFFTL 8MyHeartX, who says, who'd win the fight? Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee? Boom! Chuck Norris will, of course, win in the fight, simply because he's got 3 fists. 1, 2, 3. So, you know, no one can beat Chuck Norris in a fight, apart from God himself, which you'd probably find it quite difficult, simply because Chuck Norris came first. And that is it for the Ask George Anything round, and of course we are now going to go over to the part of the show you've all been waiting for, the part of the show which this grew up from, this little ball of the JorjLim show. This grew up from this little child, and we've kept this part of the show. It is, of course, time for the question of the week. Jingle, please! JorjLim's question of the week. It is time for the question of the week, and this week's question comes from Deadable, who says, if you were a superhero, what would your name be, and what would be your superpowers? Now, I think, simply because of my response to last week, I would be the eye hero, and my superpowers would be to kill any PC fanboys with Apple products coming out my wrists. It would actually be quite painful, actually, now that I think about it, you know, with iPhones and Macs and stuff coming out of this tiny little gap here. That is it for this week's question of the week. What would your superhero power and name be? Please leave comments below, and don't forget to like this video, as of course the rating 5 stars have gone. And also don't forget to spread this around, favourite, and do all the other YouTube-y stuff. And that is it for this week's edition of the JorjLim Show. I hope you've enjoyed your stay, and until next 2 weeks, please take care and farewell.